I am here with new Ravens tight end Benjamin Watson. Thank you so much for joining me. And congratulations on the deal, first of all. But I want you to know just how rare it is that Ozzie Newsome makes a move like this to get an unrestricted free agent. He's only gotten 5 UFAs in the past 6 years. So he really wanted you really bad.
I've been hearing that. I actually, I'd actually did a little reading after I knew I was coming here, and I saw that. And sometimes, I guess you do stuff that you don't normally do, but it's an honor to be here. Really, this organization is one that I really respect. And after playing in the league for 12 years, now going on 13, there are certain organizations that you kind of hold in high regard, and to come here and play for arguably the greatest tight end, it's going to be fun.
Right, and you also mentioned that you have roots here.
Yes.
And can you talk a little bit about those roots?
Yeah, definitely. I grew up in Norfolk, Virginia. I was born in Norfolk General Hospital in Norfolk, Virginia, which is about, 4 hours away or so. Right. My mother's family is from Washington, D.C., as well as the Baltimore area. So I remember as a kid coming up to Washington to see my grandfather, her dad, and my parents actually met at University of Maryland.
All right, that's my school right there.
Yeah, right. Terps. I know the whole dun, 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 dun. I know that's all I heard growing up.
Nice.
Was that fight song. And so my dad played football there, 74 to 78. My mom went to school there. She did synchronized swimming as well, and so. That's where they met. So only gripe I have is that they didn't even recruit me.
I know.
They didn't recruit me.
That explains a lot.
I'm like legacy, and they didn't even offer me a scholarship. So it's okay.
I think that was their loss.
Yeah,
I won't
hold it against them.
Did you have any other suitors in this free agency process, and why was it such a quick decision to come here?
I had a couple others. But a lot of times you just never know how free agency is going to work.
Right.
I've been a free agent before, and it's taken a week before I really knew where I was going to go. And then this time, I didn't expect for it to happen so quickly, but the Ravens were pretty aggressive. And so it kind of worked out being here in this time frame. But again, it's going to be a good fit for my family. We loved being in New Orleans while we were there. I have the greatest things to say about the people there and the organization itself. Our church there, we love those people, and it's always hard to say bye to one thing. But we're also, on the other hand, looking forward to the relationships that we're going to have here in Baltimore.
Right. Well, Benjamin, I think people want to know, where did last year's production come from? I mean, you've been productive over your whole career, but career highs. I mean, 825 yards. You had career high 74 catches, tied a career high with 6 touchdowns. Yeah. Where did it come from?
I'm still trying to figure it out now. I think that it basically was the intersection of a great offense there. I mean, with Coach Payton and with Drew Brees, with Pete Carmichael. I mean, the things that they've done over the course of their tenure there in New Orleans has been quite phenomenal when it comes to how they get guys in situations to make plays. And it was definitely a fun offense to be a part of. Right. And so I think that at this point in my career, once you played for a decade or so, you learn about keeping your body ready for when that opportunity comes. And I was just afforded that opportunity. It was a matter of being able to make plays because plays are being presented to me to make. And so I can't take a bunch of credit for it. They can't take all the credit for it. It was kind of a combination of both, of us coming together and really God just giving me an opportunity to make those plays. That's one thing I'm looking forward to about here is that it's a place where the offenses will be somewhat similar. There's a vision, I think, for having that type of explosive offense. And so, as an offensive player, you always want to be on a team that's going to throw the ball and score a bunch of points. It gets you excited to play.
You already met Joe Flacco, so I'm sure you can plan it in his head.
Yeah, I just met him like 12 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago now. And so he's a guy that I've obviously watched. I played against his organization a few times.
Right.
And the organization is usually, honestly, known really for their great defense. And as an offensive player, that's what you see, the Ravens defense that you're going to play. Right. But it's also a team that has had some good offensive teams as well. So I'm excited to get to work in mid-April whenever we start back.
Right. 35 years old now. Do you think, can fans expect the same numbers that you put up last year?
At 35 years old, I don't know what to expect. This is uncharted territory for me. But I think that any player at any age, there's always different variables. And so, some guys will have, 2 record years in a row, and then one year something may happen. And, the thing with football is such a team game that there's so many factors that vary into how a guy is going to perform statistically. And so, but what the fans will know is that I'll always be prepared. I pride myself in taking care of myself and trying to play like I'm not 35, whatever that means.
Right.
And that I will be there to make plays. And also just to do what is given me in this offense by the coaches. I think that what I've learned is that teams are successful when you have guys on the team who are willing to do whatever it is that's asked of them because it helps the team get better. It may not necessarily be them getting the ball all the time, or maybe it is.
Right. Hopefully so, right?
Yeah, hopefully so. Exactly. Exactly. But it's about how do those 11 guys work together to make that team better.
Right. You're joining another veteran who still puts up a lot of production, Steve Smith.
I talked to him. We're friends, and I'm like, Steve. Now I get to hear the secret. Now I get the secret. Like, you've been holding out, but now that I'm going to be on the team with you, you're going to tell me the secret so we can keep playing this thing for however long we can keep playing.
How much of the job description coming here is leadership? Because you have a young tight end core around you, and how much are you looking forward to that?
I relish that point now in my career. When I came into the league in 2004, I was fortunate to have some great leaders in New England. Guys like Richard Seymour and Brady and Vrabel and Brewski and Daniel Graham, Christian Fourier, all these guys who I really revered and looked up to because of what they'd done in the league and how long they played for a great time in the league. And so now it's an honor to be called the old man. You know what I mean? Like it's, sometimes you're like, oh, that guy's old, whatever. But it is an honor to be an old man in this league because the guys who play understand how long it takes to get there. And I, being, going into year 13, realize how incredibly blessed I am to be able to still put on a helmet and come to an organization like this. And so in that room with those guys, I just want to be someone who is trustworthy. I want to be a friend to them. I want to help them in any way that I can. And I've seen that, at least in my past teams, it's always been a great relationship I've had with other tight ends. So I really look forward to getting to know those guys.
Now, you're a leader in the community as well, and I know that you've hosted many events over the years, but you host one with families of domestic violence, taking them out shopping. And I know you had a lot of feelings about kind of the racially charged unrest here in Baltimore last year. Can you talk a little bit about why those issues are so important to you and how you plan to help this community?
Well, our mission as a family is the same as our mission. We have a foundation called One More. And the purpose of One More is to spread the love and hope of Christ to one more soul. And we do that by meeting people's real needs, whether they're clothing or food or whatever it is, by promoting education. We're both college graduates, so we feel like education is important. Right. And then partnering with other existing charities that are doing great work in the community. And so for us, it's about meeting a need, but also leading people to someone, the person of Christ, where they can have everlasting joy and where they can actually have salvation for their souls. And so, you mentioned, Baltimore, and I wrote, some things about Baltimore. The whole country was watching what was happening here. Right. And I wrote some things and just kind of pointed out the brokenness that we all have and the fact that, we have all these issues when it comes to race with each other. We don't understand each other, and there's so many things that need to be better. But it comes down to, giving people the love of Christ. And you can't give what you don't have already. Mm-hmm. And so pointing people to truth. I wrote a book recently, that kind of was an expansion of not just Baltimore, but what happened in Ferguson and different things like that.
You got to give the title so people can get it and read it.
It's called Under Our Skin.
That's
Under
right.
Our Skin.
You got to promote it.
Yeah, getting real about race, getting free from the fears and frustrations that divide us. You can get it on Amazon. You can go to Books. You can go to Books a Millions. You can go to Barnes and Nobles. You can download it on your Kindle. You can do all those sorts of things. You can get it wherever you want to get it.
There you go.
But I wrote a book about it because I think that it's something that is really a deep divide in our country right now. And I'm into healing and unity when it comes to that topic. So specifically in Baltimore, look, we can't wait to come here. We really believe that God has opened doors for us to come here, and we don't believe stuff happens by accident. I don't think I'm any sort of savior or anything like that, but I do think that we all have a certain sphere of influence, no matter who we are. And our job is to positively affect people wherever we are. And that's what we did in New Orleans. And there's the people there, we're going to miss them tremendously. We love many of those people in that community. That's what we did in Cleveland and New England, and we can't wait to get here in Baltimore and join up with things that the team does as well, but also get involved with local ministries and get involved with local shelters or have some of our own initiatives when it comes to teachers and education, things that we've been thinking about that we want to kind of expand upon now that we're in a new city.
Right, cool. Well, thank you so much, Benjamin Watson.
Thank you, man.
I am very excited to have you
Appreciate
on
it.
board, and
Thank
Ravens
you.
fans, I'm sure you can look forward to a lot of great things from this guy right here.